I've advocated for giving Republicans the same energy that they give us, and that's exactly what happened to Charlie Kirk at one of his recent events. As you know, Charlie Kirk goes around the country, sets up booths on college campuses, and debates a bunch of college students. And he brings his MAGA followers with him to basically try to embarrass and humiliate somebody that's on the mic that disagrees with Kirk. But that didn't happen at a recent event. Instead, Charlie Kirk got embarrassed. He got humiliated. He got insulted in front of all of his followers, and it's just such a beautiful thing to watch. I will say that the person on the mic isn't really relying on facts and not giving a factual argument, but that's the exact same thing that Republicans do. And if they're so closed off that they're not going to listen to you, you might as well give them the same energy back. So just take a look at this clip. We'll talk about it after. It is fantastic.
The mic.
You know, I've been hearing a lot of what you guys been saying and coming from your ivory tower, talking about how you can look down on whole entire populations of people and say, oh, these people, they're not worth this. All these people, they're not worth that. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck gave you that agency?
Well,
I know it wasn't Jesus Christ.
Charlie Kirk, and this is Riley Gaines.
Fuck you, the
And
guy
nice
from,
to meet you.
I thought you were the guy from fucking South Park. I thought you were the motherfucking Terrence and Phillip. That's who the fuck I thought you were.
Well, you seem pleasant. Are you married? Are you married?
Was your mom married?
Are you married?
Because I got a call from the doctor. She missed her fucking abortion.
You seem so sweet. Does anyone love you in your life?
Charlie, you seem so fucking stiff and white. Do you have a stick up your ass?
Is there something wrong with being white?
Charlie, is there something wrong with a stick in your ass is what I'm asking.
No, I'm enjoying this whole thing you got going on.
Hey, Charlie, I'm enjoying this whole fucking parade, this whole charade of American fuck. I am enjoying all this bullshit. I love you, Charlie. You're the best comedian. You're the best fucking comedian on.
Do you want a hat?
You're the best one.
She wants a hat. Can you wear it?
Now, look, let me just say something. I'm not big on personal insults. Whenever I debate Trump supporters, I do try to take the factual route in hopes of convincing them. But every once in a while, I do enjoy watching these MAGA commentators who only rely on personal insults, getting it back to them. We on the left, I would say, are far better at just debating people, just talking to people, having a one-on-one conversation and relying on the facts. The Republicans have devolved into, many of their commentators at least, have devolved into individuals who just rely on fiction. They rely on Donald Trump's word. That's their source for many of their arguments. Just Donald Trump's word. If he said it, then it's true. If he didn't, well, then it's up for debate. But I do love the occasional roast to their faces of MAGA commentators, and that's exactly what happened here with Charlie Kirk. And he had no response. He was just sitting there and taking it because he normally doesn't get this kind of energy. He tries to give it, but doesn't get it back all that often. He asked her, are you married? Does anybody love you? He's trying to take these personal jabs, and even the people in the crowd who are Trump supporters were not cheering. I mean, you saw a lot of red hats in that crowd. They weren't saying, oh, Charlie Kirk is so great. It almost seemed like they were kind of embarrassed by what Charlie Kirk was saying, by the response that he was giving. Now, you know, this is an example of Charlie Kirk getting embarrassed by somebody else. That's not him. But Charlie Kirk often at these events embarrasses himself by himself. He doesn't need somebody else on the mic to do that. And that's exactly what happened at another event that I want to show you, where he got caught up in this conversation with a woman on a college campus, and he was talking about consent among adults when they're engaging in, you know, certain actions, if you know what I mean. And he said that there is a gray area when it comes to stuff like that. I just think that this is a really gross comment. So let's take a look at what he had to say, and you can tell me what you think in the comments.
Like a fraternity guy and a sorority girl at age 19 hooking up, both 5 drinks in at 2 a.m., and all of a sudden she like removes consent. Yeah, like that's a murky middle gray area. And excuse me when I say...
She still removed consent, did she not?
Okay, but again...
if he continues to go onward with that encounter,
again,
then he is sexually assaulting her.
Again, that is such an unfair categorization. Like,
No,
again, it's very case dependent.
He calls it case dependent. Now, I know everybody at home watching this video have either learned better or raised their kids better than what Charlie Kirk is advocating for here. Charlie Kirk is taking after Donald Trump. in the way that he's talking about this, saying that there's a gray area when consent is removed. Let's just be clear here. Let's just be abundantly clear. If you have, in the example he gave, you have two 19-year-old college students, they're drinking some beverages at night, they're interacting with each other. If somebody says, no, actually, I don't want to do this anymore, that means consent is removed. That means that you cannot continue in that interaction consensually. There is no gray area. This is not even up for debate. There is no gray area. But this is the kind of hateful rhetoric, this weird kind of position, dying on this weird hill that Charlie Kirk and so many others do. And to even claim that there's a gray area, that it's kind of up for debate if something inappropriate is taking place when consent is removed, because obviously something inappropriate is taking place, to even like suggest there's a gray area is really disgusting. It really is just gross. And so that's why I say Charlie Kirk kind of embarrasses himself when he says stuff like this. But I want to give you a more modern example of him doing that all by himself, because I just think it's so funny to poke fun at commentators like Charlie Kirk. I want to give you an example that happened literally today regarding the election of the new pope. And again, this is Charlie Kirk doing it all by his lonesome. The Republicans are very upset that the new pope is not a huge fan of Donald Trump, not a huge fan of J.D. Vance and the ideology that they have pushed over the years. So Charlie Kirk is trying to save face. He's trying to find anything that makes it seem like the pope is on their side. So he said, scoop. Because apparently this is a big scoop, everybody. Our Turning Point Action team pulled the voting history for Pope Leo XIV. He's a registered Republican who has voted in Republican primaries when not living abroad. Our data shows he's a strong Republican and he's pro-life. And so you can see that indeed, as I think that we can rely on, or as we believe, he is a registered Republican. These are different elections that allegedly he voted in. This has been kind of reported, so I'm saying allegedly because it's coming from Charlie Kirk. He's not a reliable source, but I've seen this report from other places. These are different elections he's voted in. His general ideology is conservative, partisanship, strong Republican, and you can just see the data here. But the thing is that this pope might very well be a registered Republican. No problem. But he's certainly not a Trump fan, and that's what Charlie Kirk is trying to cover up, because I just want to show you one example that really proves that. Back in 2018, the Pope Leo, retweeted a cardinal who said, quote, "There is nothing remotely Christian, American, or morally defensible about a policy that takes children away from their parents and warehouses them in cages. This is being carried out in our name, and the shame is on all of us," referencing Donald Trump's child separation policy. And if you would have watched my YouTube video that I made earlier today, or just seen reports on this generally, this is not the only example. There are plenty of different examples of the new Pope slamming Donald Trump, criticizing J.D. Vance, criticizing their immigration policies, or just targeting their policies broadly. So it's really just, it makes you kind of cringe when you see Charlie Kirk and other Republicans trying to save face, trying to pull strings and pull straws to make it seem like the Pope is actually on their side and he's actually a huge Trump supporter, when in reality, he's not. He's just not. This is a common theme for Charlie Kirk, if you haven't noticed, whether it be him just getting roasted at one of these events, whether it be him making a really bad argument and even stuttering over himself because he kind of realizes the trap he put himself in, or just doing stuff like this, kind of lying to people's face. This is something that he does. It's something that many other conservative commentators continue to do, and I don't see it stopping. As I said, I like to approach conversations in a factual way. I do my best to do that, but guilty pleasure, sue me, I do love seeing some of these conservative commentators getting roasted to their faces every once in a while, even if that roast might include some words or some statements that you wouldn't say to somebody else for the most part. So anyway, I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Also drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about all of this. And as I always say, I greatly, greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.